Okay, we're recording. All right. So, good morning. Today we're speaking with Miss Bethany from the Helping Babies Here program in American Samoa. And I don't know a whole lot about your program, Bethany. I know that it's there. I know what you do, but I'm really excited to hear more about all the things that go on and um, all the outreach you do and how parents can find you and get help if they suspect any kind of hearing problem with their children. So, I'm going to turn over to you. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Sandy. Good morning, Talofa. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share a little bit more about Helping Babies Here, which is also known as the Early Hearing Detection and Intervention Program. Nationally, it's known as the EDHI program. And we conduct newborn hearing screenings for all live births or babies who are born in the territory at the LBJ hospital. So we work closely with the LBJ nursery team as well as the maternity team there at our local hospital. We also conduct follow-up hearing screenings for all newborns who do not pass their hearing test at birth. We conduct those outpatient hearing screenings here at our office in Whangaima. We're located on the first floor of the Baby George building by Cherry's Hair Salon in the Paramount office. Um, Even for parents whose babies pass their newborn hearing screening at birth, if at any time they feel that their child needs a hearing test, needs a follow up, they can call our office at 699-4990 or stop by our office here in Fa'aima and say, hey, I have a concern with my child's hearing or my newborn's hearing, and I'd like to schedule an outpatient hearing screening. We also work closely with a program audiologist named Ray Miner. He works closely with our program to conduct diagnostic audiological evaluations for babies who do not pass their inpatient hearing screenings, as well as babies who do not pass their outpatient hearing screenings. So we work closely with an audiologist who then does further testing for newborns and young children who need additional diagnostic testing. We also work closely with our deaf educator, our deaf classroom teachers here at Tafuna Elementary, Miss Dana Ely. She also is the organizer and founder of Deaf Nights, and I believe she works closely with you, Sandy, along with our Parents of Children with Special Healthcare Needs program. And so that's once a month, every Thursday. And so we just provide additional resources when they need those further services to assist with deaf nights. And this is a wonderful program for the community in that it teaches American Sign Language. Our children who are identified with any type of hearing loss are able to connect with our deaf adults who are very active and attending deaf nights. And so it's a wonderful opportunity for not only families, but for the community to come out and learn about American Sign Language, and so that we are able to communicate with our deaf and hard of hearing population here in American Samoa. Sorry, Sandy, you're muted.
I'm muting. I forgot I muted just in case Jasmine made some noises, but she's doing okay. Okay. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm just jotting on questions as we go along. Let me ask a few about what you've just talked about. So, what actually happens during a newborn hearing screening? Like, what do you do when you go in the baby's first born? What do you do when you do a screening?
So when a screener goes into the LBJ nursery, they will see which babies have not been screened. They will collect data. They'll identify whether this baby is a routine baby with no medical conditions or no other further medical risk factors. And so they'll separate the two because babies who have risk factors need a test called the auditory brainstem response testing, whereas babies who are routine, who don't have risk factors, will get tested with the otoacoustics emissions test. So those are two different tests that are conducted inpatient and outpatient. We usually say OAE or ABR. And so once they conduct that testing, they provide the results to mom, provide a little bit more information about the program. If they are in need of an outpatient hearing test, we'll schedule an appointment in 2 weeks' time where they come here to our office and receive another additional or follow-up hearing test.
Okay. And is the test painful or is it in any way like what exactly do they do to see if the child's hearing or not? Because I know parents are going to wonder about their newborn and getting a brainstem test.
Not
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not at all. Those tips that are used to test that are placed in the ear canal, and they're not even close to the eardrum. It just sits in the ear canal. It just uh, it's not painful. It's not loud. It just sends sound waves to the eardrum to make sure that it's intact and it's responding. And that's pretty much what it is. And it takes less than 5 minutes for an OEE, whereas an ABR, that takes a little bit more time, maybe about 15 to 20 minutes.
Mhm.
And that one, we just want to make sure that the hearing is intact as well.
So if you, let's say you had an older child that came in, specifically, we know that children with autism, they often appear to be like just in their own world. They don't respond when you talk to them. They don't turn. How do you know if they're actually hearing or not hearing when you have a child that's non-speaking or autistic?
I think that's a really good question for our audiologist. I do know that for children who are a little bit older, who need further testing, the audiologist conducts what's called sound field testing. And of course, with autistic kids, that might be a little bit more tricky. But I think that's an awesome question to ask our audiologist, Ray Miner. He would be able to talk a little bit more about that. So I think it would be great to get him on the
Yeah.
show and talk a little bit more about what he does.
I guess for now we can say that they can figure it out. They know, they can tell through, and it's not because you say something and they turn and look, or in our typical adult testing, they tell you to let you know when you hear a beep on the left or the right, or
They
it's
turn,
not like
yeah,
that. It's a totally different type of test where they're sensing whether the ear is responding, right? So it helps
yes.
them to be able to identify. Yeah, I always wondered that. Okay. Um, I think that's all the question. Oh, the other question I had is what are some reasons that the child might have hearing loss or be hard of hearing?
Definitely genetics is definitely first and foremost, um, and then for a lot of other babies, could be acquired hearing loss if they have, for our kids here in American Samoa, we have very high chronic otitis media here, and so if those are not taken care of, if they're not compliant to their ENT appointments and taking care of ear infections, that can eventually lead to acquired hearing loss. So we encourage families to please take their children when they're sick. Please see a pediatrician, see the ENT doctor, and make sure that those ear infections are taken care of and that they are being compliant with medication and visits to your local provider. And then just to make sure that you don't eventually get what's called acquired hearing loss. But
Mm.
for our other babies, it's more than likely genetics. And then I think nationally, the national statistics, it's two to three per thousand on average
Okay,
that are born with congenital hearing loss.
nice. Okay. I know too, speaking of how they can get the hearing loss, I've been working with Jen at the hospital, the speech therapist. Many times she would get a child that was suspected autism, and she would begin working with them and realize that they weren't autistic, they simply had a hearing loss. And it could have been like an infection, it could have been wax buildup, but the child just simply wasn't responding because they weren't hearing anything because their ears were swollen or they were plugged up. So it's good to get those the ears checked to make sure that they are clear.
Definitely. And then if they have any other medical conditions, that also plays a major role in as far as late onset hearing loss.
Mhm.
If they have antibiotics, at a very young age when they were born, that usually can play into hearing loss later on. or if they were premature, involved at birth. Those are also risk factors that we follow just to ensure that they don't have hearing loss later on down the line.
Okay, good. Okay, so go ahead. Is there more you wanted to share? You want to go through the website a little bit?
Yeah, this is, as you can see, this is our program website, helpingbabieshere.org. If you need more information, these are some of the outreach programs that we've done in the community just to kind of get the word out. I know at one time, people mix us up with the Helping Hands program. And so we always try to, get the word out there that Helping Hands is a different program from Helping Babies Here. But we work very closely together. They're one of our partner programs. We call them our sister program, and we work closely with them. So as you can see here, these are our screeners
There we go. Yeah.
and conducting hearing screenings here at the LBJ nursery. And as you can see, they place a probe in the ear canal while baby is sleeping. That's the best time to screen them when they're still and when they're sleeping. It can yield a result very quickly. And so yeah, we have our screeners on there with the babies, our outreaches in the community with our children and our families that we work closely with, and then just the location of where our office is here in Pangaima with our address and phone number 699-4990 if you have any questions. And please don't hesitate to call us. We're here on the weekdays from 7:30 to 4. And if you don't have minutes to call us, just drop by the office here in Pangaima and visit us.
Okay. I think you also, if I can work on my screen here, I'm going to find the Facebook page for, um, maybe I won't. I can't get this down. Okay, let me see. The
Was
Facebook
it right
page
here
for,
on that tab, the divisions? Was
I
that the
was, no,
one?
no, no. I was looking up, I just looking up the Deaf Night
Oh, okay, yes.
and see if I can get that to come up.
There you
Um,
go.
There we go. So this is like you said, once a month. Dana has a deaf night class. It's at the Tafuna Diwa. Here are some of our deaf community members, and they conduct the program. And there's a lot of fun. They have games, a deaf night lesson, and of course, here's a lot of photos. And it's not this fast when we have class. It's nice and slow so we can learn. Then the Facebook page, you can get, of course, a lot of more information and support and know when the Deaf Night is held, because it's usually like the third or fourth Tuesday or Thursday of the month, right?
Month.
It's
Yes, yes.
consistently at the end, and these are all of her flyers when she has that posted. So yeah,
So
it's really
actually
great.
this Thursday at
Thursday.
Diwa,
Okay, yeah, this Thursday,
yeah,
and
Diwa
we
Tafuna.
learn signing, and it's not just for those who are deaf, but we've really benefited from her program because Jasmine is non-speaking, and so she uses sign language as well as her iPad to communicate. So it's been very helpful for our family to be able to give her a means to communicate, and what a difference it makes in a child's behavior when they can finally communicate. Yeah, so really, really important.
It's
Okay.
it's an awesome it's an awesome program, and I'm just so happy that Dana's been able to have this out there, not just for, like you said, our deaf and hard of hearing population, but for our community, for our families who want to communicate with their children. So absolutely.
Okay, so let's sit back here. And anything else? I think you hit everything. You got the location, the contact. Oh,
Oh,
the other thing, and it's free. It's free. Just so everybody knows, this is another program in American Samoa that's free for you to help your children. Yeah.
yes, absolutely free. Yes, our program is under the Department of Health, and so we work closely with all of the Department of Health programs such as Helping Hands,
Mhm.
maternal and child health, family to family. So we all work closely together to make sure that we are aligning our services for our families.
Just gonna review this again to the beginning if I can find it. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for today. And I'm going to figure out now how to stop the recording. There we go. Okay.